back to the old team now. Chewy and Woody. Let's see what we can find for a hawk. Now, Chewy's in there, little flashing dog. Woody's in the tree. First day out without Beau. So little Chewy's going through the undergrowth. And Woody's following on nicely. Rabbit! And he's got it. Nice flush by Chewy, well done Chew. There's an eager hawk wanting to go out. There's a little eager dog wanting to go out. Well, that little bit of video that you just saw there was yesterday. It was absolutely raining hard, the wind was blowing. Woody got very wet and he could hardly get any lift. There were so many gaps in his wing where the wings were wet and he wasn't getting enough lift. I could see him struggling and he didn't really want to hunt, so I fed him up. And today it's a little colder but the weather is better and we're going to come to the same place and see what we can do. And this is an old coal mine. I think I mentioned it on a previous video. This is all a slag heap here from the mining many years ago. I think it started in about 1920. So if we look here, this is a big old piece of limestone and there's a few small bits here. This is what was dug out of the old pits. That would have been 3,000 feet down, and all this ground was made up by all this material that was pulled out of the pit and the coal taken away. Yeah, good bit of ground. I'm going to let the hawk off for a minute. It's like being in the Amazon here. The ground is so, the area is so moist that it's a massive moss and root and a haven for rabbits. Woody's up there. There's the little dog. We're going to walk up this little track here and see if we can get a little flush. The hawk appears to be nice and keen. I can tell he's going to be at it this morning. He's got a spring in his step. Yesterday in that rain I was calling him pretty much the same weight, maybe a touch heavier, and he did want to know. But I can see today he's going to love it. Temperature's a bit colder. It's been very mild the last few days, but now there's a bit of a chill in the air. What I thought I'd talk about today is trading off. Fair trade, trade off. So my opinion, which is pretty much what I've always done, is we go out, we have one kill and that's it. So I don't multiple trade off. I have traded him off on the odd occasion, then carried on flying, but that's if he's caught immediately and I've been with someone and I want them to see what it's all about, so we've carried on. But I think that's probably once or twice, and if he's caught something like a rat and I don't want him eating it, then I've tried to trade him off quickly. But generally he's always caught and fed up. So Chewy was almost like semi-retiring, but he's been out. He's going to be out again now until we decide what we're going to do after losing Beau. He's okay, but I was just trying to rest him up a bit. He's a good little flushing dog, works well, and he's 13 now, so I was going to let him take it a bit easy, but he still loves it. So if you've got a new hawk, trading off, it's important to think about, because I would say you need to let that hawk realise that when he's catching something, he's going to have a good old feast. So I was going to let this one go today. We're getting near the end of the season, but the way he had it, I don't think it would be wise to let it go. If it had had it on the back end and I felt that it was going to be alright, I would have let that rabbit go at the end of the season, just for the risk of any young being around. So I think what we do now is, as I was going to talk about trading off, I'll carry on talking about trade-off. So what I was going to say, the hawk, if you trade off nicely, they just look at the food continuing and a reward for what they've just done. And that hawk will soon realise if I take his food away. Normally I let Chewy mix in a little bit with the hawk and the food, but I just want to leave him alone for a minute. And Chewy's getting a little bit frustrated and chewing on them sticks and getting a bit agitated. He's getting a little agitated. No, don't do that. Oi! That's a bramble. Woody is tucking into a bit of red meat, and I want to move him from that onto some lean meat where there's not so much blood, because I don't want Woody filling up on all that red stuff and his weight's going to go flying up. But I still want to give him a good feed, but I'm going to choose which part of the rabbit. I've moved him by putting a chick leg onto that bit of meat there, and he's just literally moved. So I will let him have a good feed. What I'm doing now is just letting him have a feed up, or fill his crop, and once we get a sort of a golf ball size in there, then I'll trade him off with the chick. Oi, calm down mate, calm down. So I normally help him a little bit, reveal the meat, so he knows that his falconer is a help, and I'm not going to take any food off of him. And I believe if you've got a hawk that knows he's going to be fed up on every catch, they will be more determined, because if you keep taking their rabbit away from them or their food and then flying them again, they will remember that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with doing that, but this is the way we do it. And I think Woody is a more determined hunter for us doing that single kill and a feed up. We know we're going to give him one more chick to trade him off, so I'll take that into consideration. If I'm going to fly him tomorrow, that is. If I'm not flying him tomorrow, I could just let him feed right up on that rabbit, and then we could have a day off tomorrow. It just depends which way you're doing it, but we fly quite regularly, so he has a good feed, his weight goes up, and then we're out flying again. So it's about trying to get into the mind of the hawk really, and seeing it the way he sees it. As long as he steps off that rabbit onto my fist for something he wants, which he loves, no problem. And then we cover up that rabbit. I have done it where I haven't covered it. As long as he's on your fist eating, then you can put the rabbit away. But for today, I'm going to just do it this way, because I think it is probably the best way to go, especially if you've got a new hawk. But with Woody, I can just literally trade him off and then pop it away. As long as he's eating on my fist, he's happy. So I'm just gonna fill the crop. I can do that because I'm always helping him, so he doesn't mind my hands in there. So he's got like a golf ball size now of meat, so I'm going to let him go a little bit more because his weight today was on the lower end. I can bring him up a bit. If he was at a higher weight, then today he would have less of that and less of the chick, but still a substantial crop full, but not over the top. But today, knowing his weight, I'm going to let him have just a little bit more. So in his mind, he's having a good feast now. Also, if you're going to trade off, you could leave the hawk on the rabbit, plucking the fur out the same as you could on a pheasant. Just let him pluck for quite a while. Once he starts breaking into the meat, he's been on it longer, so I feel that's a good thing. But I generally help him and cut into his food for him, so he sees me as a partner. But you could do it both ways. So I think he's had enough rabbit now. I'm just going to fill the crop again. Yeah, it's got quite a bit of weight in there, and with a trade-off chick, he's had more than his share. So with Woody, I can do this two ways. I could throw this chick to the side, holding on to the rabbit, and he would go over to the chick, and then I remove the rabbit. Or I can get him to step more difficult now, as he's in the red meat, but let's see if we can get him up. So I've covered the rabbit. I didn't squeeze that chick out, but now just lift him gently and he steps on. So he's off the rabbit, rabbit's covered. Then whilst he's eating that, you get the rabbit in the bag. So there's Woody, had a good old crop full. He's got himself a bit messy. And then pop the bag with the rabbit in the back of my vest, in its waterproof bag. So we're going to give him a little clean up when we get home, because as I say, he got into the red meat to start there, and he's got himself a bit messy, but he's had a nice crop full. The rabbit's gone, he hasn't seen where it went, he doesn't know if he's eaten it or not, but he's had a good fill, and that's how we trade Woody off. So with that, Woody, I think that's going to be the end of season 2023-2024, finishing on a good note. There's going to be young now about, and I don't want to be involved with that. I could have let Woody fill right up on that rabbit, but I wanted to show that trade-off because I watched a video the other day, and I didn't realise that some people were struggling with how to do it. I just presumed that it was a straightforward thing, but I did notice some problems, and I could see people didn't quite understand. But basically, you think how the hawk's going to think. Don't rob him of food. If he wants to step onto your fist for what you're offering him, maybe a day old chick, because that's like chocolate to them. If they like them, they generally will leave the rabbit. If he was on a rat, he might not want to leave the rat for the chick. If he was on a woodcock, he might not want to get off onto the chick. It depends what he's eating, really. But this hawk, he does love chicks, and generally he will step off. As I say, you could throw the chick to the side and he will get off and get on that chick, but remember, you've got to get hold of your hawk. You don't want him carrying that chick off, so you need to know them. So the other suggestion would be to once your hawk is feeding, in fact I should have said this before, Remember, when your hawk is feeding, if it's a new hawk, then you want to be attaching to the jesses, or whichever way, to your glove, so there's no way he's going to fly off after he's fully eaten. Make sure he's secure. Woody, I know what he does, and I'm quite happy with the way I do it. But so yeah, secure your hawk once he's on his catch. Let him have his feed, trade him off, take him home, weigh him the next day, and if he's too heavy, you don't go out, especially in the early season. But for me, well, we know what we're doing. We're doing what we do, but be very careful. Take it easy. Don't rush your hawk. Let him feed up. Yeah, and enjoy. Just enjoy it. Thank you everyone for watching 2023-2024. Thank you very much for all that well wishing last week for the sad loss of Beau. Very much appreciated. Very kind, lovely, thoughtful comments, which definitely helped. So yeah, thank you everyone, and we'll see you next season for the hunting. Not sure what I'll be doing during the molt, various ideas, but we'll see. But anyway, for today, thank you again, and see you on the next video. Signing off from Chewy, Woody and myself. See ya.